since our last reunion, we have had 8 family members to go on, as I said, to that distant shore. As I call you the family's name, I want the family to come up, and I would like to have just one person, maybe the oldest person in the family, give comments on the loved one. First one is Lucy Bryant.
Come on, Karen.
Karen Champ.
Karen. Champ, somebody come up.
The oldest member will make remarks, but the whole family can come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Anybody gonna say something?
Okay.
What happened?
Lucy Mae Bryant from the Americas District passed away on October 11, 2021.
Okay, everybody know Miss Lucy. Everybody know Miss Lucy.
Yes.
Miss Lucy May. And she loved the family reunion. She loved it.
Yes.
That's the one thing she gave truly of. And one of my fondest memories, when she was still working at Cooper Light in Americas, they asked her, Miss Lucy, they put her in this monthly thing that we do. She was chose, and they asked her, Miss Lucy, what's your favorite thing or favorite time of the year? Y'all, she said it was my family. It's my family reunion.
Yes.
And that stuck with me throughout the year. So, on behalf of Ms. Lucy Mae Brown, we thank y'all. We love you. We gonna be here. And we coming, y'all.
Please accept this little token of love. Your mom's picture, her funeral program, made it into a picture, her framing, and some bird seeds in memory of Lucy Bryant. And they are in packs, and you guys can find them up. Yeah, I'm sorry, they are personalized. Personalized bird seeds.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
Why, Ellie? Why?
Our next family member is Darlene Tolles from Washington District. She passed on March 5th, 2022. And Anton will accept her.
Greetings, family. This is my aunt. This is my grandmother, Christine Norman, had 5 children: George H. Lee, Shirley Lee Evans. She adopted Darlene Tolles as a baby right out of the womb. And then she had my aunt Billy Mary Lee, and then she had my mother, Deborah Lee. So this aunt worked at the Labor Department for over 40 years in DC. And it was not until after she passed that I realized that about 20 people that I go to church with worked with her. And she worked right outside the office of the Secretary of Labor. She had been there 40 years and she was a power mover. So she leaves to cherish 3 children. And she hosted a reunion in DC one year when you guys came. And you know how family can be. Sometimes we have a little debacle. And at that time, Courtney was the president, and Courtney said, you're gonna have to stop having meetings, and you're just gonna have to plan this reunion. So my cousin Kimmy, that's how she and I got very close. She and I planned my Aunt Darlene's reunion. You guys came to DC that year. We had a wonderful time.
Yes.
So I know this is not about, I'm just grateful for my aunt. But what I will say is that the reunion is coming to DC next year.
Yes.
And we look forward to hosting every one of you. You know, Antoine loves to cook, that's what I do for a living. So we look forward to hosting you guys in DC. Her sister, next in line, Willie Mary Lee, is who will host the reunion next year. So I look forward to seeing you all. Thank God for the life of my Aunt Darlene. And I would say this, I made it known in her funeral that I could not let that day go by without letting them know that my grandmother opened up her house to a many of people. And she would not let Darlene go. She allowed those two people who had her to live their lives in their marriage so she could raise her as her own. So she is not blood, but she is blood.
Yes.
So, you know, cherish your family, cherish what you have. You never know what people go through to sacrifice, to make sure that people live.
Right.
So I want to live on that her memory always lives on. Thank you.
The family of Leonard Percy. Come on, Dad. Leonard Percy, Florida District, Leonard.
What's in there? My sister get up here and start playing.
Leonard Curious is my third oldest brother. Len served in the Marines, and Len was a dedicated Marine. You know, once. I don't know how you do this. But Len rededicated himself back in the church as well. You know, when he passed, we all knew he had dedicated his life back to God. You know, and we went to the same church. I went back, and then I went back and asked my brother, because I used to go past him at the nursing home to go pick up another member. But God spoke to me and said, you passed your brother to go pick up another, but you never asked your brother to go. So when I went back and asked him to join the church, he said, no problem, I'll go. You know, and from that day forward, we went to church every Sunday. I had to go by the nursing home and get him. But he was always ready to go. You know, my mom started an organization in Davenport, and Lynn wanted to be a part of everything we done. If I went, he went. He wanted to stay to the end. But I told him, you know, your life changed when you rededicated yourself back to the church. And you did things in the end that you thought you would never do your whole life. But he did. And I miss him. He was a character. As a church, we would always go to my sister's house and eat dinner. And she used to be happy to serve. And he would be happy to eat. You know, he don't think about, he'll swirl his hands. He happy then. You know, but we miss him. And I just hope he just, you know, he rested on until one day I make it to where he's at. Yes, so that's Leonard Curious.
Will the Americas District please come back? for Mr. William Jernigan Jr. His immediate family is not here, so the America's District will take this token of love back.
Come on, y'all older ones, come on. Y'all older ones, come on. Get over here. Y'all older ones. Come here. Y'all, come on. Lady Fug.
This is in recognition of he was our oldest uncle. As a matter of fact, he was the oldest of my grandmother's children. And he was the last, he was next to the last to pass. But in honor of him, we thank God for him. We thank God for even what he's done in his life. We're sorry that his kids are not here, but we just praise God for him, and we just, that's a picture of him.
Yeah.
I don't know how many have ever seen him, because I don't know whether he's ever been to a reunion. I don't think he's ever been to a reunion. But he was my grandmother's oldest child.
Was his brother here last year? His son.
His son. His son.
Last year.
Yes.
His son was here.
Thank you.
Hold up. Y'all, wait a minute. Hold up.
Immediate family of Arthur Hicks, Charlie Brown, and
Yeah.
This has been a tragic year for
it
us.
has, it has for all of us.
And to
for
take
all of
care.
us.
We have lost. Come on, Pat.
I gotta take care of it. I'm standing right here.
I want y'all to kiss me.
So,
I want y'all
oh, Joanne.
I just have the comments I would like to make about our beloved Charlie Brown. He was always the life of the reunion, the party, just all of that. He was generous. He was giving. The last two reunions before my sister Gloria passed, he flew from New York. He rerouted his ticket so he could stop in Atlanta and escort my sister to Sinus reunion in St. Petersburg, Florida. He was kind to my mother and always kind to me, and I will never forget it.
Thank you. I just want to say on behalf of our family, we honor this family. I thank you for the Tripp-Jones family. I thank you for honoring Charlie. Charlie was all of that she said, and he was such a dresser. I remember the last time I visited him in New York, I went to his house. He had so many shoes. He had so many name brand clothes that I never seen. He was glad to show me all he had, but he haven't missed, and we just love y'all, and we thank you for honoring Charlie. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, the next family member that has reached that distant shore, a lot of us probably don't remember him. Roy Conti Taylor. He's from the Washington District, but most of us should remember his wife, Jean Putnam. She hosted the reunion, and it was the most affordable reunion we ever had. Our food was $20.
Wow.
Our hotel rooms were $20. And we stayed in style. We were at the Hyatt.
All right.
Megan, you remember Megan? You remember? We had a ball. The food was delicious. We had so much good home cooked food. And Anton had a lot to do with that. And his wife's souvenir was off the chain. We had the first edible souvenir. Green and white candy bars. Remember, Maggie? We had a good time. We had a good time. So, Anton, will you please take this back to Jean and send our love.
All right, so like she said, Jean has already hosted her reunion. You guys will remember that her sister Sandra hosted her reunion as well. And in the year that you guys came to Virginia the first time for a while, when Christine Norton, we call her Chubby, but Christine had her reunion. We had the Mardi Gras thing that year in Virginia. That hotel we stayed in is now an apartment building. But that's when Christine and the two twins, Jean's sisters, Sharon and Sharon, they all hosted together. So they got a few years knocked out and they did their reunion together. So Jean's sister Sandra already hosted. That's when you guys came to Arlington, Virginia. And we stayed at the Marriott Key Bridge, which looked over into Georgetown and over into the water. That was her sister. And then the two twins who hosted with Christine. All four of them are sisters. And their father is my grandmother's brother, George. So you guys will remember that, if you remember that. We called him Feeney. He played the piano. He played the piano at the church we grew up in Alexandria, Third Baptist Church.
Please share these with Jean. The McKenzie family, Carl McKenzie, and Lydia family. He was here. Okay, he's not here now. Okay, we'll get it to him. When my immediate family come up, Janet Driscoll, I'm the daughter.
Joyce.
The second daughter.
Joyce. I'll do the call.
Oh, you can, yes, come on. Just a minute, she wants to come now.
Okay. Gotcha. Go ahead. You got it.
Well, I'm Kim McKenzie's sister and Carl McKenzie's sister-in-law. And you know, for many years, Carl had suffered, but I won't say suffered, but had been sick many years, and recently he just passed away. Most of you may know that already. I think it was just too soon for the kids to try to do this. It would have been too hard because it's kind of hard for me. But Carl was very well honored by the Omega, and they did a fantastic job for him, sending him away, and everything was very heartfelt, I guess. And as most of you all had ever visited Carl, if you went to his home, he always made sure everybody was fed. He took very good care of people. That was his loving thing. He was an educator, avid gardener, and if anybody knew him, he was going to make sure they got some of his crops that he harvest. So, we got a lot of his neighbors that would stop by and was talking about how well he treated his neighbors. Whatever he grew, he was sharing with the neighbors. And his one thing that he grew was those hot peppers. And he would tell them, please, when you touch these peppers, make sure you wash your hands, because you can burn your eyes or something. But I guess that's as much as I can say about Carl. But keep him and the kids lifted up in prayer, because this was so new inside. They just laid him to rest Thursday. So remember them in prayer.
Children and grandchildren of Maddie Driscoll.
Come on now, y'all. Let's go. Come on, don't do that like that.
I'm going to be speaking on behalf of everybody, also my mom who's sitting over there. I can't do Maddie, and I call her Mama justice, but I do want to tell you a little bit about who she was. Mama was about this reunion, coming to this reunion. It's not a minute that doesn't go by when I'm at the reunion that I don't think about her. She was an amazing woman. She was about family. She was about helping you raise your family. She was about telling you about yourself. And what I appreciated about that most is she did it right in front of your face.
She did it in love.
Right in front of your face. She taught me a lot of lessons. We spent a lot of summers with her. She was an entrepreneur. She had a business. She retired from Scripto. She also retired from the school district. She was one of the hardest working people that I've been around. And people get it twisted talking about these women raised you. I said, have you met them? Have you met them? It's one of the strongest people that I know, Mama. I miss her every day. I miss those late night calls with me asking her about recipes, because she was an amazing cook, which I'm sure y'all, and baker, which y'all all knew. She would be right here, or she'd be at that head table, chewing on some food, laughing, and visiting with her family. She was a great communicator too. She kept us together. She would call people from different districts. She was amazing.
Yes, she was.
As a matter of fact, the head table started in 1988 for Mama's reunion. She hosted it in 1988. The head table started at that time. I also want to, like him said, I also want to just, when I think of my mother, I think of every year the reunion cake she made. And the one that sticks in my mind was our 20th reunion cake. And it was, to me, and I know I'm her daughter, but it was just beautiful. It was the prettiest cakes of all she made for the reunion. It was a tiered cake. It looked like a wedding cake. And she had the 20th emblem in the top of it. But my mom, she loved the reunion. She just didn't pay her reunion dues. She came to the reunion with love. She came to the reunion with everything she could cook or bake. She brought it. And every reunion, I know all of us can't help but think about our moms, our loved ones, but I guess I think of mine because of all she did for the reunion and trying to hold it together. Her and my grandmother, Elmira, encouraged us to stay in the reunion. And as my grandmother would say, keep it going. And the only way we can keep it going is with the little ones. They are our future. They are our future leaders. And they are our future Tripp-Jones reunion leaders. Thank you.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing? I'm sorry. If I'm not mistaken, it was Ken and Barbara's reunion that we had at Perimeter at the hotel. But that was the hotel that looked over the pool. And that was the last reunion that I remember your grandmother and mother being there. And you guys rolled her in the wheelchair, and she was just as happy as peach pie to see her family. And there's one thing that I will never forget that she did. She sat at the table, and she said, "Who are you, young man?" And I said, "I'm Christine Norman's grandson." "That's my cousin." And she proceeded to tell the story. But the one thing I'll never forget about Maddie, she sang a song at that table. Even any condition that she was in, she started beating on the table and she started singing, "Hey, Mr. Sexy Man, what your name is?" I'll never forget that. So for her to be at that age and to remember my grandmother, her cousins from distant time, and the good times they had, that's why the family reunion is so important. That you come, you bring your family, no matter what goes on, no matter who makes you mad. Come to the reunion. Right. Learn who your family is. Right. Love on your family, because tomorrow is not promised. That's right. Let's have each other today. Whatever happened then, it's gone. God has given us grace for the future. Yes. Let's keep running so that these little ones can one day stand where we are and keep this reunion going. 45, 50, 60 more years. I'm sorry.
You right.
I just wanted to say that my mom loved this family. She made it possible when we were acting crazy, didn't want to come to the reunion, didn't have money. We would say, it costs too much. My mom would say, it's never too much to come and be with your family. My mom paid for us to go. She rented buses. She talked about the importance of our family, and she knew the history of this family. She had a memory, even when she left this world, she knew, and she tried to pass on that memory of our people. She loved us all. She educated 4 generations. The most important thing to her and my grandmother was education, because she always said, people can take everything from you, but they can't take your education. So for all you young people, move forward, get an education, because we want that. We want the best for you guys, and we really want you to carry it on. My mom would want that, and all of the mothers that have passed away would want that. They love you guys. They wanted this for you guys. So always remember, it's not too much to pay to be with your family. Thank you.
Janice Bluff Johnson.
Yes. Yes.
Do you feel like coming up, or do you want to?
She's gonna come in.
Well,
She's coming. She's coming.
I'm gonna come to you.
okay.
She's coming.
Thank you for hosting our 2023 reunion. I want everybody to know when I think I was about 9 years old in the 4th grade. And when they first came to it, when her mom brought them to Atlanta. And I remember that Sunday evening when they arrived. It was Janice, Sandy, and there was some boys, but I was looking for the girls. Janice was the cutest little girl, wasn't she too? She was so cute. Janice and Sandy. Janice and Gloria played so well together as kids, and when they grew up, they became neighbors, and they became closer. Your mother, B, was very special to me. I remember her as a single parent. She loved her children, and she kept them together. They were never separated. They were not in foster care and all of that. She gave them everything she could give them by herself. Janice wasn't even a majorette. I had some majorette boots, remember? But all in love, I wanted to just have this little special dedication. I want to thank you for bringing your mother to see my mother and my grandmother. And I noticed yesterday when I arrived, you had on this little hat. And you wear them well. I don't wear them well. And we were going through some of Mama's, some things from Mama's house. And we found some extra caps from the 1994 reunion in Decatur, Georgia. And on behalf of myself and Larry, and the rest of the grandkids, great-grandkids, we just wanted to present you with one of these reunion caps. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a reunion cap my mother hosted. A reunion she hosted in 1994 in Decatur. And I don't think you found one in your mother's South alone. Okay. So we wanted to present you with that. You were always so sweet about bringing your mom back. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah. Janice would come by on her own. She was. Okay, yeah, you take the mic.
You all don't know this, but your grandmother is the reason why I got into catering and decorating and everything. Y'all grandmother and your mother. She's the reason why I got into this, because I used to go over and watch her when she would bake thousands of cakes at one time. I'm like, how in the world did she do that? You know. It was a passion for her. And yeah, she loved to bake. And I used to sit and ask her a million questions. Yeah, I used to ask her a million questions. And I used to sit and I used to also ask her about the family. About when my mom was growing up. And, you know, I got a lot of information from her about my mom and her siblings as a kid. So thank you all for sharing this with me. And it is an honor. Family is an honor. It's very, very, very important. And you don't always pick and choose the family you want. You sometimes just got what you got. And make the best out of what you have. You know,
every day is not always promised, so we have to take the good with the bad and make the best out of it and do the best you can in it to, you know, make sure the next person don't ever feel what your disappointments are. Cause that's our responsibility, is to make sure that, you know, everybody stands true to who they are, and the little ones that's growing up can get to see who they can be one day. You know, you can say it sometimes, but letting them watch it, watering that seed, letting it grow, it's a lot. So I'm glad to be able to host the reunion, and I hope you all enjoyed yourself. Yes. Enjoying yourself, brother. I think it's the beginning of something new. You know, we just have to keep pushing forward for the good to get better.